This is a YouTube comment we got. And it's like, and I built this video where I said, hey, the simplest way to build a 6-figure app business. And he said, I've literally tried to do this step by step, and it worked for my app. We went from 0 to 5,000 revenue in 2 months. First and foremost, ASO is hard, but not impossible. I think there's too many experts out there saying it's dead, doesn't work anymore. It's not quite dead. It is definitely hard if it's going to be the only channel that you use to drive downloads, but it's not impossible. Number 2, stop paying for App Store reviews. It's going to get you in a lot of trouble with Apple. If you need App Store reviews, especially as a new app, here's some ways that you can do it that Apple will like. Okay. So stop buying App Store reviews. I don't think ratings are that important. They're important, but once you have enough, like 100 plus, I think it's fine. Here's the aggressive way of doing it. This is Genie app. This is their first couple of screenshots. They ask for the ATT prompt. Then your AI assistant just kind of like reminding you users, this is best practice of what the app is all about. I hit continue and they go, help us grow. Here's a chill way of doing it. This is the onboarding screen. And then after the paywall, whether they hit start free trial or not, we showed them the review prompt. One of our other clients started doing this. He added the review prompt after the paywall, after trial activations. He's getting like 50 a month to all the way to close to 400 a month. What about the average rating? In November, 4.3. In December, 4.3. In January, when we added the review prompt for the full month, we got a 4.5. So not only did we get more ratings, but we got a higher average rating. Now, I have looked at this app again for February, March. It is back down to 4.4, 4.3 range. But regardless, you're getting a bunch more. So here is the percentage in ratings. It's about 225. So 3x the ratings. You can see percentage-wise, ratings over downloads, you went from 1.4, 1.4 to 4.5. Here's what I did with one of my apps. Brand new app. I want some ratings because I only had 6 at the time, which is what you need to run an app advice campaign. We made our lifetime offer for free because I was like, this app is brand new. I need ratings. Without ratings, Apple Search Ads doesn't kick in. Without ratings, ASO doesn't kick in as well. But Apple Search Ads, I've found with newer apps, just doesn't scale. I do think that ratings impact click-through rates for your app. The higher you have, the more clicks you're going to get on your app, right? My hypothesis was if I do a lifetime offer, I should get a boatload of downloads, right? I was trying to hit 10,000 downloads with this campaign. We hit 12,000 downloads by making our lifetime offer for free. And we got 150 new ratings for this app. Right on launch, within a couple of weeks, I needed 5, 6 friends of mine to leave some ratings so I can run an app advice campaign. And once I did that, we got 118 5-star ratings. DSD says, what's the cheapest ASO tool? Look, there's a lot of great ASO tools out there. The combination, now I don't pay for AppFollow, but it is one of my favorite ASO tools out there to do keyword research. And I'm pulling it up right now. I put the main keyword, let's just say the high traffic, high difficulty keyword that for your industry. And I'll look at AppFollow and kind of see which one has the lowest review count. Typically might have the lowest revenue, right? So I'm like, okay, there's one with 2,000 here. So you click on that, and what AppFollow does is looks through the metadata. This is an Apple Search Ads API. That's what I believe it is, because Apple Search Ads, if you put this app in your Apple Search Ads campaign, it will spit out, based off the metadata, what other keywords you should be bidding for, right? And this is how I like to do this. So now I'm looking for a keyword that is maybe anxiety relief or, stress, breathing, right? Guided meditation. Trying to find other ones, but you want to try to find one around this 25 to 30 range, like breathing. That's the best keyword that I can think of right now off the top of my head that has a little bit less traffic, but obviously it's going to be less competitive. And that's the way to do it. Joe says, which website do you use to get those daily, monthly review stats? So it's a combination of AppFollow, or I was using AppRadar, but AppFollow has all that stuff. Keyword installs or boost campaigns, right? Essentially, just to break down these campaigns, it is paying for a download by a keyword. Typically, these are self-service type of things. This is a dark pattern that I know personally a lot of big companies are using. So run at your own risk. I'm only revealing this because one, I want you to have a fair competition. That's why I said go after niche keywords, because the big companies are all focused on these high traffic, high difficulty keywords. When they're running these type of campaigns, they're going to be focused on those keywords, where they're going to be ignoring the niche keywords that you as an indie can really go after. You know those app store reviews that show up under your store listings and you're like, dang, how do I get this out? You force touch, 3D touch, it's like a hard push on the review. If you do this hard push on this review, you get this little prompt. Now, Apple, the default rating is usually by most helpful. If you want to get these out of the way, or another one of your reviews in here, then just ask your friends, ask your family to go to that review and do helpful. Okay. And then the last thing I'll highlight is the US localizations. So the US App Store indexes 9 different localizations. Here, this is the mistake that I routinely see people make, is have different keywords in your titles, in your subtitles, go after them. What I like to personally do is the main keywords I'm targeting the US subtitle, I just move them up into the Spanish Mexico title. And then if it's in the, let's say there's another keyword phrase that I'm going after, well, then I put it in the Vietnamese title too, right? And there are other ways to hack this a little bit, but that's how you do it. You don't want to put the same title and subtitle everywhere. There's 9 different localizations. So each app title and all these localizations, if you start using all of them, we're right now using Spanish, Mexico, and Vietnamese, but the title and subtitles should be different for the US, Spanish, Mexico, and Vietnamese, okay? So because the title and subtitle have the highest weight, you want to put those keywords, the main niche keywords, in the titles, right? Steven says, after the app is published, how long does the artificial rank boost last? When you launch an app, Apple still does give you a boost, roughly about 40 or 50 downloads a day, but it's about 5 to 7 days. It'll give you a nice little boost, and then you're back to the norm. Adrian says, hey, Steve, do the length of app reviews count? Are they scanned for keywords? So Adrian, yes, they were scanned. They were scanned for keywords. So this is why I talked about the Black Hat strategy of App Store reviews. So what we did was, when I had this like idea in 2015, I was like, I think the App Store reviews, the keywords in there will help the rankings. So I was like, I think that's true, because you think about Yelp and Google Play, at the Google ASO SEO algorithm, right? UGC content, especially if they have the right keywords, played into account. So I was like, why wasn't this different from App Store reviews? And so I tested this with a few of my friends, and I was like, hey, I'm going to tell me the keyword that you're targeting, and I'm going to leave a review on my own personal account with it. And guess what happened to the rankings? One app, which one review went from 16 to 4, and another friend of mine was like, I'm number 2 for that keyword now, and I forgot where he was before, but it did work in 2015. I've been trying it still. It doesn't work as well in 2023 right now. So how to check which app is ranked for which keyword. There's a lot of ASO tools out there. ASOmobile.net is one that we've been partnered up with. They've sponsored our channels. But if you have a keyword, they'll show you which keywords, which apps rank for that particular keyword. But a lot of the ASO tools out there will give you that data. David says, how does the app score screenshot also matter in localizations? In like certain countries, like the Arabic countries out there, you have to be a lot more conservative in those screenshots, like no alcohol, no things like that. And so when you're talking about, depending on the nature of your app, one, obviously different languages, that's the obvious one. And the less obvious ones are going to be like cultural differences. Maybe you can't show a skimpy lady, you know, things, type of stuff in these other countries, and you have to be less aggressive and more conservative in those. So just think about the cultural aspects of it, but the obvious one is the language. Benjamin says the keywords from all those languages are also indexed for the US App Store. Yes. So US App Store indexes 9 different localizations, and they are all used by the US App Store. And we have slides. So I never want to make a claim before I have actual data. But we have one for a client of ours, we have one keyword in the Vietnamese localization, only in the Vietnamese localization, and he is starting to be indexed for that keyword. Do you have any data on effects of sales on different app development frameworks like Flutter versus web versus native? Robin, no. I think really the way I think about this is it doesn't matter what's under the hood, as long as your app like doesn't stall too much. So really focus more on a smooth experience versus the under the hood. David says, can't I still grow with my AI app without the ad stuff? The normal app loses 77% of his active users in just 3 days. And most app users tend to stay for 6 days, then delete your app. So it's not like they're going to be like, this David dude, right? Long as it's just a banner ad, it's not in the way. I was completely against hard paywalls. I thought it was the scammiest things to do. But then when we launched it with our own personal app, I saw the data. We went from $1 to $10,000 with a hard paywall. And I was like, what? And then when we had to do a soft paywall and put an X, we dropped down to $5,000 in revenue per month. I was like, what? That sucks. I prefer 10 over 5. So we went back to the hard paywall. So let the data tell us what to do. Don't let your opinions dictate anything. Again, because my opinion was wrong. I was not a fan of hard paywall. Now I'm a fan of hard paywalls. All right. Other than admit, which ad network would I recommend for a new app just entering the market? AdMob. Just put AdMob in there. Don't worry about it too much. Just get it in there. Your ad revenues are not going to be the biggest winner, but put AdMob in there and just get it going. All right. Cool.